people that will come and talk about the state of the nation. So thank you so much. A beautiful morning to you out there, and I'm sending love and light to your ways, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Platform. The platform is where we talk about the state of affairs of the nation and things that have been affecting every individual. Even sometimes you might think that it doesn't affect you, but it does affect you. You know, last week I brought in a guest that actually discussed about fundamental laws, the code of conduct bureau, and every other thing. And a lot of questions arises along the line, and I brought in another guest this morning to explain to us. You know, we're talking about the 500 billion naira NDDC fund misappropriation, and a lot of things has been happening, and people are hearing this here and there, and we are hearing stuff like off the mic, switch off your mic, don't say this, or the House of Assembly members are involved, and so many other things involved. So we really need to discuss extensively the things that we need to get into. Take for instance, we need to know the legal part of it. How is it that it's easy for us to actually embezzle money in Nigeria, the fund misappropriation, and people that are supposed to be in charge, people that are supposed to be asking questions, and we should ask questions, because when we ask questions, that is what will make the government to stand up and do the needful. So I'm just going to go for this quick commercial break, then I'll be right back with the questions and my guests. And in case you're just joining us for the first time, platform is where we discuss the state of affairs of the nation and things that has been happening all around. Another ground people. Yeah, welcome back. It's still the platform on Immaculate Television. My name is Maria Muni, and I told you earlier that I have a guest in the house. He is a member of ADR Society or your state branch, and we're talking about a legal practitioner that has been practicing for over 30 years, and we're talking about Mr. Ademola Agbaji, a a public affairs commentator. It's nice for you to join us this morning.
Good morning.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy to see you, because I know that, okay, somebody that has been practicing for over 30 years, I mean, he has something to tell us this morning. Okay, so my first question will be this. Is our fundamental right supersede the Constitution?
The answer to that is that the fundamental rights, human rights, is enshrined in the Constitution. The Constitution is the ground law for the whole country. So it's the basic law. And out of that, you have the fundamental human rights. And basically, the fundamental human rights is to ensure that our rights are protected. You know, your right to free speech, your right to have property, your right to move around, freedom of speech, and everything like that. So that's basically that. So the fundamental human rights are enshrined in the Constitution. There's no way you can separate them.
Okay, so basically the fundamental right is part of the Constitution. Yes, so it's like nothing supersede each other because it is embedded in each other.
No. The Constitution supersedes everything.
Okay, the Constitution supersedes everything.
The fundamental human rights are enshrined there to protect the citizens of the country.
Okay, so last week a legal practitioner was around to explain to us about the agencies, the bodies that are supposed to be in charge of fund misappropriation and asking questions about accountability. Now, my question is, why is it that the Code of Conduct Bureau is not involved so much in fund misappropriation and public office holder accountability, unlike talking about properties? You know, why is it that it's only about properties? You have to tell us the amount of properties you have. You have to declare your assets. Then later on, when you leave the office, you have to tell us your assets again. Don't you think that it still doesn't make any difference? Because I can tell you that I actually made this money by this. As long as I can tender the paper, I can still steal.
The thing is that declaration of assets.
Okay.
Or public servants is being dealt by the Code of Conduct Bureau. So once you are a public officer, you have to declare your assets. You know. So, but if any citizen, if any person has a complaint, feels that you are living above your means, they will write a petition to the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, that's ICPC. Now they will now start the investigation. Now they will go to Code of Conduct Bureau and say, look, okay, this man, he has more properties that he cannot explain. In other words, you're living above your means. Mm-hmm. So they now say, okay, what are the properties? You declare, the way it works is this, you declare your assets when you get into office. Now after 4 years, when you are leaving, you also have to declare your assets. So people can now compare that when in 1980, when you came in, this is the amount of properties you have. You have 5 houses, 2 cars. But now when you are living now, you now have
27 houses.
27 houses, over 4 houses in Banana Island, and also, you know. Now that means you have dipped your hand into the public till. So you have to make an explanation for that.
Okay, so now what you're trying to say in essence is just that if nobody petitions the person...
No, there must be a complainant.
Oh, somebody has to complain. Somebody has to petition the ICPC about somebody that is living the life. Okay, so it all boils down to the fact that the general public is almost in charge of asking questions about fund misappropriation. Is that what you're trying to tell us now?
Yes. You see, we have to monitor each other.
Okay.
You know, so if you're living above your means, and I know you're a public servant, and that in 2015 when you came in,
okay,
you only had 1 car. And now you finished, you have about 10 cars, you're living...
Even before I finish, what happens if I'm still in office and I have like maybe 15 cars whereby I was using a car before?
Then
so that person can still be petitioned.
Yeah, you can say, look, this man is totally living above his means. He has all these exotic cars, Prado, Jeep, and everything like that. And he can't give any reasonable explanation how he came about all those properties, cars, houses, and everything. So
okay, the bottom line is now this, like it is the duty of the public as a person to actually ask questions about a person, a public office holder. Is that what you're saying?
You see, you as a public person,
okay,
you can write a petition, but you must also be able to back it up.
Okay.
You know, so you must be able to gather your facts together. It's not just to make any wild allegation.
Okay.
You know, probably you don't know whether the guy has gone to the bank to take a loan.
Okay. Some investments and every other thing like that.
But you must gather your facts together. You must be sure of what you're saying or the allegation you are making against such a person. Once you are sure of your facts and you've gathered everything, then you present a petition.
Okay. Can the petition be anonymous?
Well, now we have the whistleblowers law.
Okay.
So where you can be anonymous. You know, you don't have to write your name, but you must be able to substantiate your allegation.
Okay, so even as a citizen of Nigeria, yes, if I see that one of my local government chairman is actually using 15 cars after maybe a month entering into the office of the local government chairman office, okay, can I just petition the Code of Conduct Bureau without having so much facts? Like, okay,
well, you have a fact now. You know that the man
has 15 cars. Okay,
was using one dilapidated Toyota Corolla. Mm-hmm. Now he now has 2 Prado Jeep for
after a month.
Yeah, after a month. So he said, look, this man is living above his means.
Okay,
he has to explain how he came about all these cars.
Okay, so the bottom line is that the public should ask questions.
That is definite. That is correct. That is what we should be doing. We should be monitoring what our public officers are doing, how they are living their life. So once a public officer is living above his means extravagantly, then you have to question it, query it.
Okay. Well, that's so I'll be moving on from that to asking the question that if the Constitution empowers the National Assembly to probe any public office holder for accountability, so what happens afterwards? Should a person should a person be prosecuted by law if found wanting? Or in other words, can the House call in court hearing on this? I'm going to explain this for the general public now. Okay, the House of Assembly, they are probing the former governor, that's the Akpabio,
There is not a form. They are probing NDDC.
Yes, they are probing the NDDC.
So all
in
the
general.
staff of that commission, from the chairman
to the managers and
manager,
everything. Okay, so it's just that the Akpabio kept recurring.
Akpabio is the minister in charge.
Okay.
Okay, so he should know what is going on
in
that
his ministry. Okay, so
under his ministry.
Okay, so what we're trying to say in essence is just that. Okay, so after all this probe, if he is found wanting, is it that the courts should be called upon?
The house, you see, once they make any probe, at the end of their investigation, they will write their own report. Now, if somebody is found guilty of committing a serious crime, they can make a recommendation to the Attorney General of the Federation that this man should be prosecuted. They can also make a recommendation that, okay, this man should be banned from holding public office for, say, 5 years or 10 years.
Okay.
So they have that power to do that. But it's not that they will now take the man to court themselves. They will advise the Attorney General to prosecute this man.
Okay.
Or
it is a duty of the Attorney General to prosecute.
Yeah, or they can make a presentation or a petition to the Code of Conduct Bureau, to the ICPC, or even EFCC. From their investigation, these are the findings, and this is our report, and this is what we're recommending.
Okay, so in case you just joined us, it's still the platform on Immaculate Television, so I'm just going to go for this quick commercial break, then I'll be right back with more questions. Thank you. And in case you're just joining us for the first time, platform is where we discuss the state of affairs of the nation and things that has been happening all around. People that will come and talk about the state of the nation. So thank you so much. And welcome back. It's still the platform on Immaculate Television. My name is Maria Money, and I have a legal practitioner, Mr. Ademola Badi, that has been talking about judiciary system in Nigeria and fund misappropriation. And he said something that actually caught my attention. The public must ask questions. That if the public refuses to ask questions, nobody will actually stand up to petition all these people. We are to be the one to do the questioning, not the other way around. And now my next question is this. I brought in a guest last week, and it said a lot of things about court proceedings, talking about how long it takes even for you to get a date for a court hearing. Why is it that our judiciary system is that much faulty? Why is it that the court is that overwhelmed? Can't there be some sort of balancing so that, sometimes justice delayed can be justice denied? I'm talking about people that are less privileged here, not the privileged ones. Because if you want to talk about the issue of Ojiuzo or Kalu, the court proceedings and every other thing like that was delayed basically because of this man's influence and affluence. Now afterwards, the court hearing and everything, before we could say Jack Robinson, they are through with the case. And right now, his seat is still not declared vacant, even in Senate. What I'm trying to say in essence is just that, why is it that it takes so much of a time to actually get a court hearing, even in Nigeria?
One, the first main reason is that there are not enough judges. The number of judges, you see, the population is growing. And then you have a lot of people having cases here and there. So the judges are not appointed, and the process of appointing judges is cumbersome. That's the first one. The second thing is that now we have the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, which is essentially to make criminal justice system very fast. Well, you see, you find out that the judges are not even applying the provisions of that law. Okay, like for instance, you see, if you have a criminal matter, the judges are supposed to sit from day to day, and then if you want to adjourn, you can't adjourn more than 5 times, of both the prosecutor and also the defendant. So the essence is to make sure that criminal cases are concluded speedily. But you see, you have so many things. You can come in and say you are sick. Your lawyer may send in a letter that look, I'm sick as well. So those are the things that. But essentially, there are not enough judges. And the other third one is that we are not employing technology. It is now during this COVID-19 that we now have this Zoom court criminal matters where
virtual meetings and everything.
The accused need not to be in court. The lawyers on both sides, they don't have to come to court. The judge will sit there and be watching all the proceedings there. But essentially, to make things faster, we need to embrace technology. How about this? Because even then, the judges, they take minutes in longhand, which is another thing that is killing them. What we should do is have stenographer there that will be recording.
So we don't have stenographers in
except
our
in
courts.
Not in, at least in your state, you don't have stenographers.
Wow, that's interesting.
They wanted to introduce some times back, but up to now we don't have that. So we need stenographers to take records, so that the judge will just sit down and watch what is going on. And within a very short period, we'll be able to, because even...
To pick out the points.
To pick out the points, and then you don't, because what happens is, they take the whole thing in long runs, go back to their chambers, and go through what they have written. Imagine a judge sitting for a whole day from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. And then he'll go back and read all those things again, and then make up his mind, and then so the following morning he's going to repeat the same thing. Whereas if they have a stenographer there, things will be easier for them, and they'll be able to conclude cases speedily.
Wow. Okay, so you mentioned something. You said we really need to embrace the technology more. There's some things that have been put in place in some developed countries, like stenographers and every other thing like
America,
that.
They've been using stenographers for so many things. Then you have, you can record all the proceedings. You don't have to take it in handwriting. You have the digital recording and everything. You can use that. If you remember the case of O.J. Simpson, they allowed cameras.
Yes.
That's true. They don't even allow cameras in the court.
Wow.
So once we have that, the judge will just sit down, look at all the proceedings. He may write some things down.
Yes.
But those are important things to him, or maybe his own observations to write them down.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, he can always go back, put on the television, and review all the day's proceedings. So if we allow that kind of things here, it will be faster to get justice.
Wow. Okay, so you said something that actually caught my attention. You said that there is not so much judges. How can I become a judge? Okay,
you must be a lawyer first.
Okay.
Then you must have been a lawyer for over 10 years.
Okay.
But in Nigeria, there are so many considerations. They have to balance religion. There should not be too many Christian judges or to contribute to the salary of the judges.
Okay, all the fines, all the court proceedings, the money.
Those one goes to the state, to the coffers of the state. It's part of their internally generated revenue. It's not for the maintenance of the court or anything like that.
So how does the court get their maintenance?
There is a budget, the judiciary. They will prepare their own budgets and submit it to the government at the state level.
Okay.
So it's for the governor to say, we can accommodate this, we cannot accommodate this, Like for instance, they've been clamoring for more courtrooms, so it depends on whether the state can afford to build new courtrooms to equip them. Like all these stenographers we are talking about, they have been recommendation, for them to provide them, but the executive will say, look, we don't have money, we don't have enough money to employ stenographers, you have to buy the machine. And you have about how many courts maybe about over 30 in Ibadan alone, not to talk of throughout your state. Okay. So the machines are expensive, and you have to train the stenographers.
That's true.
So they will say, look, we don't have the money, it's not part of the budget, it's not something serious we have to embark on.
Okay, so there is not even enough funds for the judiciary system in Nigeria, so it wouldn't
they
help.
They are advocating that the budget for the judiciary should be first line charge, so that they don't have to go cap in hand to go and beg the governor to release funds for them. So maybe I think Buhari is trying to do something about that.
Okay.
So that the judiciary will be independent, they will get their funds, they don't have to depend on the state government or anything.
Okay, thank you so very much, Mr. Ademola Agbaje. Is there any final words that you want to give us this morning?
My final word is that the state,
okay,
the police, they've not been able to protect we, the citizens. And I think it's high time we citizens of the state, of this country, bear arms. You apply to the police for license to carry guns. If we all carry guns, all these herdsmen will not be attacking everybody left, right, and center. The kidnappers will think twice before coming to your place to kidnap you.
Okay.
And also, I think we should all be carrying our guns over the place.
Wow. Some people in some quarters they actually believe that is extreme. But okay, if I want to look at that from another angle, that means that is a story for another day. And thank you so very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you this morning. And in case you're just joining us and in case you've been listening to everything that he has to say about the judiciary system in Nigeria, he explains to us extensively that we, the public, really need to ask questions. That the more we ask questions, the more the judiciary system will stand up to do the needful. And in case you're just thinking that why is it that the justice system in Nigeria is such a mess, that there's always a delay in court proceedings, court hearings, and everything like that. Now, it says something that caught my attention, that even the budget for the judiciary system is not put in the front line of budgets. Are you kidding me right now? Okay, so as a citizen of Nigeria, I'm clamoring for every other citizen to say, ask questions, be interested in your public office holder, the local government chairman that is in your area, the ward councillors, and every other people like that. You need to ask questions because it is your tax money that is people are funding themselves with, and every other thing that they need to do to make the society great again, you need to ask them to do it. My name is Miriam Oni. I know that you've had a very wonderful time with me. Do join me again on Thursday. I'll be having another guest in the house, trust me. So, and this is Immaculate Television. Whatsoever it is that you have had, whatsoever it is, we are the few